Okay, so I had a dream um, the evening of December 20th, 2024. I had gone to bed at 8 p.m. I had this dream. I actually didn't even know that I was actually sleeping to have a dream. And I woke up around 8:30 or something like that, or 8:40 p.m. Okay, so here it is. From what I remember and what I can remember, but I know it means something, so I'm going to put it on. Um, I was walking into this building, and it was a one-level building. And as you walked in to your left, there was a tray of cookies. Okay, like Christmas cookies, like a whole bunch of cookies. You know how you make an assortment of cookies? And people could take some as they walked in. And I had a tray there of cookies, but they hadn't been unraveled yet or unwrapped. And the other tray was about to be empty. So I opened up the tray and I took some cookies and told my daughter, "Here, grab some cookies before they're all gone." And she didn't take any, but I just took like a couple, like maybe three or four or something like that. And we walked, and there was a path you could walk in this building. So it was like if you go to an antique shop or something, and you meander through the furniture, like there's a path that leads you through the items that you're looking at. Okay, and that's what it was. It was items. It was people's items. It was furniture and knickknacks, things that they own, their possessions or whatever. Okay, and they were being sold or auctioned off. And I believe my things were in there. And so I meandered around the aisle or whatever you want to call it and got to this back room area. And I knew when I got to the back room, from what I remember, like everything had been sold and auctioned off now. And they were about to auction off one of the main items, which was like a piano, like a real nice piano, not like a grand, but like a baby grand or something, some kind of piano, some type of piano they were going to auction off. And as I'm talking about it, it reminds me where they, like in World War II, when they went and they took the Jews and then they took all their possessions and they claimed them and they auctioned and sold them and took their fine art and they probably had the baby grands of the um, music and uh, paintings. They probably had things that came from their generations and everything. And then they took things from museums, and that's what it kind of reminds me of there. Okay, so either way, um, I knew that the people that were buying were kind of upper class or elite upper class, and they kind of had their nose up to me. And I knew that when I stepped out of this room, I saw people standing around this piano, and there was this man eating this cheesecake, a piece of a cheesecake, and it was a blueberry cheesecake. It had blueberries, like fresh, really juicy blueberries at the bottom layer of the cheesecake. And I had made this cheesecake and I had it in that piano. Um, so they were eating stuff as they were like around this piano or something. And the man that was eating it, his wife had the piece of the cheesecake as well. And she kind of stopped me and she was like, "My husband loves this cheesecake, loves this cheesecake. He wants you to make one for him for his club." Kind of like it was like a men's club or they were going to be doing something or something was going to be going on. And he wanted this blueberry cheesecake for his club. And she goes, "If it was up to me, I'd have more blueberries in it and the crust would be a little more done. But he wants it. So do it as it is. Like it's, perfect as it is. Just, she goes, I just like more blueberries or something, right? And then, she went to walk past me into this back like bedroom, and it was kind of dark, and she went into a closet, and she was getting her purse, and she goes, hold on. She goes, let me give you some money for this cheesecake. And I was like, no, no, you don't have to give me anything for that cheesecake. You don't have to pay me for that cheesecake, or the one that they were just eating, like testing, or what, or not testing, but they were just eating. And she's like, I know how expensive it is. I know how expensive and hard it is for this cheesecake. It's expensive making this cheesecake. And so, I don't know if I took it or she gave it to me. I don't know. And then it switched, and I was outside, and I was leaning against like my back against this wall, which was like this, it was a wall, brick wall, but it kind of reminded me of a fence or brick wall or something. And then there was grass and dirt. And my daughter was standing in front of me, and I was using the bathroom outside. Um, like, doing some personal items and things like that, using the bathroom. Um, because I don't think we had anywhere to go. It was, and then all of a sudden, the man that wanted the cheesecake, I think it was, he was walked down some steps, and he was standing there, like looking at me, because he wanted to tell me something. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, he's just watching me. Why is he here watching me while I'm using the bathroom?" Obviously, I'm outside, but, I had no privacy. There's nothing we could do about it. And then he came and stood in front of me, and I was like, "Great," you know? And he goes, "I'm gonna offer you some work. I want you to, um, come and be what is it called? A crossing guard? Like someone that stands at the corner of a street and lets people cross the street. Come and be a crossing guard. It'll give you like a week's worth of work and a week's worth of pay." And I couldn't remember if it was 5 days or 7 days in that week that he was giving me, 5 days or 7 days. And I remember thinking, "Oh, man." Um, I remember thinking it was like $20 or $20 a day or something, I don't remember. But I remember thinking, if I take this obligation, which we need, if I take this obligation, if someone else comes that offers work, I might miss that work, and then this one will be over in 5 or 7 days, right? And I was kinda worried that I couldn't take another job with it or on top of it, right? I'd be missing something. So then he goes, "What you would be doing, a van. A van will come and pick you up. It'll drop you off in my neighborhood." So it was like a neighborhood that you weren't supposed to go in, right? He goes, "It'll drop you off at the corner you're gonna be working on. Um, these men are gonna come up, and you're gonna ask them questions." And it was like a game for the elites, or he was hosting this game. Like, remember I told you he wanted like white, I think, but I don't think it had anything to do with like Jesus and stuff like that. Um, he goes, you're going to be asking them questions, and then I guess as they get it right, you can let them across the street. And there was a couple of people who was getting to stand at the different corners and streets to do this. Okay. And I think that was the club or the men that he wanted that cheesecake for. Okay. Um, and he goes, and then the van will pick you up and bring you back to where I was using the bathroom. Like, I guess, we lived outside. Okay. And we needed the money. And I was gonna do it. I was like, "Oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna miss something, right? Miss something." And then he walked away, like it was like he was just tell me that's what was going to be done and whatnot. Then he walked away, and my daughter goes, Mom, don't do it. Don't do it. She goes, those are the ones that I've helped before, I've worked for before, and they seem nice, like they're trying to help, or they seem nice, but then they just use you, and they don't give or really help you, um, and they just use you. Don't do it. And then I woke up from that one. Okay, about that dream, I was talking to my daughter last night when I had it, and it reminded us of church. Okay, for some reason, the people reminded us of church. Um, like, where's the church? That, yeah, like we have where they're auctioning, and people don't have, um, one, they're doing things in the churches, like buying and selling in the churches, and not, not supposed to be, kind of like in the sanctuary and gambling. And it reminded her where Jesus went into the temple and flipped over the tables. Okay. Because the church wasn't doing right. The temple was not doing right. Okay. Um, Also, where it says that if you've got a widow or an orphan, that the church is supposed to take care of them, with their resources and the money. That's what the money of the church is supposed to be used for. That if you've got a true widow, I think, I can't remember where is that in John. Where is that? I think it's in all the Gospels, but um, it talks about if you've got a true widow, and it says the age, because people, I think, in that area or something, were taking either advantage of the church, or they weren't using the monies right, or there was just things going on. Okay, so it was stated that if you've got a true widow, um, no, it's not the Gospels. Where is it? Is it John talking about it? I don't remember. Anyway, so it says if you've got a true widow, and a true widow, he went by age. Okay, because if you were under a certain age, you were able to still be strong enough, I guess, to kind of help yourself as well. Like, family could help you, but you could still get a job and help yourself, right? Provide a little bit. But if you were over a certain age and you were a true widow and you didn't have any family, because family's supposed to help family first, like take them in. You're supposed to, they're supposed to live with you. You're supposed to take them on as you're their family, right? Orphans and widows. Well, if they don't have family and you're a true widow, um, if you don't have family and you're a true widow, or things like that, orphan, then um, that's where the church steps in, and the church takes care of them, like for their life. The church takes care of them, right? It helps and supplies needs and things like that. My daughter's saying, just like, Jesus's mom. Well, she had other children, but yeah, she was, yeah, Jesus told John to take care of his mother as his own, yeah, as his own mom. So John took in and took care of Mary, Jesus's mother, because what he said, that all these are my brothers and my mothers and my family. So that's the church, right? And she's a widow. And so he was telling John to take care of her. Okay. The body of Christ, to take care of her. Um, so um I started thinking, I was like, man, it's kind of like the Hispanics. Not everyone's horrible that came across that border. They need help, and there's children, and there's people, you know, um, and instead of helping, we kind of pervert them, or use them for cheap labor, knowing they can't make it. We use them for cheap labor, knowing that even what we're paying them to do, it's demeaning. We don't care. We throw them back into the street once it's done. and we didn't pay them enough to do anything, like to get ahead. There was nothing that helped them, right? And we think we helped them with our nose up in the air, and that well, I gave them the crumbs. I don't understand. What do you want from us? I'm doing God's work or helping. And then the people in, hmm, yeah. And the people in, like, Tennessee and North Carolina and Florida, why are there still people that are living in tents? Why are there people that are without and dying and freezing? Why is this happening? Where are the churches? And I know some churches and smaller churches have stepped up, and people that aren't even the church, unbelievers, like other people have stepped up personally as well that don't have, and they're trying to make it with their families, or whatever. But where are the mega churches? Where are the ones that claim that they follow and picked up their cross and follow Jesus? Where are the mega churches? Not for publicity, but just to do what Jesus did. There should not be hurt. That these situations, or at least the Tennessee and everything, should have been taken care of. That shouldn't still be going on. And I know it's the end times, and I know, but people should see that those churches that are asking for all the money in these big buildings that look like huge golden sepulchers, like that, that they, that's what their resources do. It's not for the extras that they have, and, oh, let's get a bigger building. Don't need that bigger building. We don't need that extra building, right? That money needs to help and feed the sheep. Feed his sheep, feed my lambs, he said, right? What do you say about the person that kept building storage units because he had too much and he just kept building storage units? More places to store, more buildings, more buildings. No. Yeah, Peter, you love me, feed my sheep. Peter, you love me, feed my lambs. Peter, you love me, feed my sheep, right? That also, feed them the word, but feed them, like, take care of them. If people are coming for the word and they want to hear and they are seeking Jesus, they don't care where they're sitting and how far they have to go. They don't need the comfy seat. They don't care where they're sitting to hear it. If you're a man of God, they will listen. They came from how far away to listen to Jesus? Stayed without days for food and slept on the ground and didn't move and sat on the rocky ground and listened. Fishes and loaves, where he took the what, 3 loaves and 5 fish, or 5 loaves and 3 fish or something, and he multiplied it. Sorry, excuse me.
I thought you told him like
And he multiplied it and fed,
so you didn't eat it because you were
the thousands. I don't know. So that's the dream I got. And I have a couple more.
Jesus paid it all.